Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to our session that is going to be about AI today. And for that we have Professor Dur-e-Ajam. She is an educationist as well as a photographer that started as a hobby, but now she's a professional photographer as well, and worked with some very esteemed organizations. Welcome Dur-e-Ajam to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Haqqi, and I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you with us as well. So, welcome to the talk again. And so, starting with our very first question, first and foremost, when and where did you experience AI and it was a wow kind of moment?
Oh, okay. But I think if you ask me, I think it's been a moderate process. The other day I was thinking that we used to read a lot about fiction, novels, and so I remember the other day that probably Frankenstein was the first ever pre-AI sort of hero, because whatever happened in that novel. And then growing up watching Robocop, Transformers, those were the sort of movies. So I've always been a great movie watcher. I used to watch it with my brother and father. So that used to actually put me into so many questions, that how a human can transform into a machine, or how can machine sort of adjust into humans. So that always used to be a question. And I remember watching a movie back in 90s. It was the movies, there was probably Future in 2024, something like that. Yeah. So we've just been through 2024, and the movie used to be the transformation of humans and young girls and boys with having the extension of AI or robotic arms. That used to be, a movie in those times.
Those were the bionic days, right?
Bionic days, yeah.
Right.
So, and I remember, we all used to sketch it, and we all used to have posters of those movies, that how we going to have those sort of extensions. So I think it's been that moderate process that we had in our minds. And
so what was the wow moment?
I think I read in a book by Yuval Noah Harari, and he, I think, was the first person 4 or 5 years back who told what actually is AI and how AI can transform human minds and rule it. And although it's like he's a historian, he talks a lot about it. Most of the people are not great fan of his work, but that actually inculcated in my mind that I should start knowing about it. And coming to the wow moment, that was when we started talking on WhatsApp. There were the groups, and then there was this Meta which had provided some sort of intervention into the WhatsApp groups.
Okay.
So I remember we all were chatting, our friends were chatting, and one of the friends who was probably more tech savvy than us, so he just added or tagged our name to the Meta, and Meta started conversing with us while being in the chat group. That was something. That was actually the aha or the wow moment. I was like, wow, how does this Meta, how does he know us? And he's taking my name and he's talking to me. That was something really new, Nova. So I couldn't then stop discussing and reading about it. And then, I don't know, within few months we were introduced to ChatGPT and Gemini, and then there was this Meta all over Facebook and everything. And we were literally thinking that's going to take some years or probably months, so it's okay, there's something. And I always used to think that this is probably not for me, for the new generation or Gen Z and how they take it. But within weeks, I tell you, Mr. Haqqi, within weeks, we had to realize that, this is the new. I don't know, people always say, as Harari always says, it's the new God. AI is the new God. So that was when I felt, oh my goodness, it's so much here. And then watching so many movies having the deep fake, and then there were so many virals. Look,
right.
What is happening in the world? So I think that's how I got indulged into it.
Wonderful. So how do you see AI kind of now being used in, especially as an educationist and educational institutions, and how do you see it transforming the education side of it?
I think that is the question of an hour. Although I am an educationist in social sciences, so I teach mass communication, I teach photography, I teach journalism. So having that background, I cannot be an expert on AI, and I can never be the part of the hardcore solutions of the AI. But yeah, but being a media student myself, because I'm also completing my PhD, I think it's the generative AI that we need to discuss. So the social media is more or less controlled by the generative AI now. You see, you use Instagram or WhatsApp or any social media platform which are widely used. We have certain sort of algorithms. And whatever we urge to see, somehow or the other we are flabbergasted by seeing this. Oh my god, I was just thinking in my mind, look at this, it's here. So so it's the AI now telling us whatever we want to see, and probably somehow the other it's controlling our minds in a very through subconscious. So seeking all this thing, coming back to your question, it's really important to add it into our education now. So I'll talk in two parts. Number one is how the educationists can have a use of an AI. So I think I always say, so I'm also working on the PhD topic which is related to AI, the inculcation of AI in the media. So I always say it's more or less like a chess game that we are playing.
Very true.
So at times, like I would always think as an educationist, oh, AI has to be my tool or one of the greatest gadgets that I've got as a resource. But somehow or the other, having time constraint or probably not enough time to gather so much of the data. So the idea of having the the summarization or the comprehension of the metadata is eventually the AI.
Correct.
So what I do is, I think what teachers are doing, we also have so many of the trainings that we are having. But basically what teachers are doing is they are using AI as an assistant. We are using also AI as a cost-effective method, and also it has greatly affected on the feedbacks that we need to give to the students. So I think how it has improved for the teacher is that the teaching methods have improved. Also AI is helping them, I think, scrutinizing the exams papers or the tests or the quizzes in a very moderate way, in a very crisp way also. It's just there. I just have to add into the, let's say I'm using a Google Calendar or a Google AI, so I just have to add into it, or a ChatGPT. So ChatGPT would definitely tell me within the minutes, oh, this is the status of your students and that's the graph and whatever I wanted to have. So that's increasing that ability. And also coming back to the second part, the students. I think we need to tell students, rather than I give them lecture on just one topic. So what we need to do is we need to tell them how to be a tech savvy person and how to use the certain sort of generative AI. Let's talk about, let's say, ChatGPT. So what I do, so my actually teaching method is also not only the theory, it's the field work also. So I send them to collect the data, they come back with the data, and then I tell them that put it into ChatGPT or put it into any of the Gemini or any other AI generative app. So they do it, and then I tell them, oh, this is how you can make graphs. That's how you can do the mind mapping and everything. But I think what is, so then the next question would be, okay, what's your role then if ChatGPT is doing so? So my role is to maintain the balance, basically, to tell them how to give the prompts, not only to throw things on them, but to guide ChatGPT to actually answer what they require. Yes.
So, in what way is it kind of changing the curriculum? Because what I just heard you saying is that you're using AI in delivering the what you call the curriculum or the text or being proscribed. So, do you see the curriculum changing in the near future as well?
I think if I talk locally, so there are two aspects. Like, we are in a country where we do not have the extra access of the technology or the modern technology. So if you ask me, I teach in a public university. I cannot ask them to have all those softwares which a public university of America or Europe might have. I just can't. We don't have the resources. So what I can do is, I can always guide them through the private apps that we can download, or the semi sort of professional apps we can download. So I keep on searching for those things, and I think we as the faculty members, we keep on discussing on the curriculums. But I think we'll take time to develop a proper curriculum that is totally based on AI. That's not possible.
Maybe not based on AI, but in order to cater for the challenges or the differences that the future students are going to be basically getting what you call affected with, because it's a very disruptive technology. There's no doubt. Students who are continuing for 4-year degree program, so from the day they enter the university and the day they get out of it, it's 4 years is a long time in the AI age, right? So that's what I basically meant. So right, so in terms of the ethics, because you touched a little bit on that when you were discussing your when you were exposed to AI, and there were certain negative things as well, like deep fakes and all that. So how do you see the ethics part being implemented or maybe practiced, and how do you see that? And obviously that will have to start from the educational institutions, from an early childhood level maybe, or even adulthood.
Well, okay, if we talk about the official ethicals or the rules or the laws, that I think till now we've already discussed it also, that it's quite difficult. It's a struggling phase that we all are having, because it has just occurred to us. AI has just occurred to us. I know it's a very vague statement, but definitely for a layman, it has just occurred. And everyone is trying with everything, and you cannot control the mind of any individual in a way. We just can't be conformist in AI practice. So there are no laws as such throughout the world. There are few laws which are very mildly created, but they are specifically for certain areas, or there are certain codes, but there are no as such, there are no laws. So talking about ethics, yeah, absolutely. But talking about the ethics, so far when we teach about the research, and when we teach about, let's say a student is coming up with his report writing or coming up with the research, so there are certain softwares which do catch the plagiarism and which do catch the AI repetition. So that's what teachers are doing so far. So basically we say you can take help from the AI to the certain extent, that let's say 15% of the AI research data is accepted, and then they have to write it. After that has to be their own write-up. But it's again very, very subjective. How many teachers do have the access or are trained for checking out, scrutinizing all these things.
Right.
So So I think we have to live along it, live with it. Talking about the media ethics, that is not in control. Anyone can sit at his or her home and create anything. So if you talk about Nanoverana, which is recently being introduced, so you just need to have one photograph of any individual, and then you can create anything out of it. It's the video that you can create. So anything can be created. There are so many other apps also, which are probably for the local people. If you go in China has so many apps which we don't even know.
And it's just the beginning.
It's just a beginning, yes. So, and you see, the modern world is amazingly transforming, and it's the virtual world that it's sort of a parallel universe that we start living through. So,
I remember the concept of metaverse.
Absolutely.
It is kind of becoming.
It is becoming that way. So I don't know. I think also having those, you're talking about metaverse. So the other day, there was this little girl, 4 years old, and she was telling her father, I was just sitting beside, and she was telling her father that she can touch all the animals through that metaverse. Like, she was telling this to her father, and I had no answer, I had no question to it. I was thinking, wow, I need to get indulged into it too. So I think it's surprising for all of us. We all are absorbing into it. So it's I don't know. I think it's little bit of in our control, little bit of we are sort of.
Or it's just flowing. It's very fluid,
is,
and
actually.
we just have to kind of
It is.
see where it kind of goes from here.
But coming back to the teaching point of view, I think we just need to learn it as soon as possible, and we need to get equipped to it, so that if I have the responsibility of certain students on my shoulders, I can fulfill it with the idea of indulging them into it, and then also telling them what not to do.
Correct.
So yeah.
And that's what I meant from the beginning. When a student starts experiencing AI, and if we let them know what is right and what is wrong and the ethics part of it, so at least they have it, in their mind before they actually go for something. Of course, intrigued. It's very intriguing and very attractive as well. So let's talk about a very kind of rapidly transforming industry, the photography and the media, and you're very deeply connected with that. How is AI transforming that side?
Oh wow, it's really interesting. It's really surprising. I mean, I'm using that word again and again, but I think so. Yeah, being a photographer, so I'm a still photographer. Like, I do photojournalism also. I do go on the streets. I do street photography also. So I go and connect with the people, and I take portraits. I go and connect with the buildings, the old monuments. So it's sort of a connection that I create. I go out into the field, absorb myself into it. So as a photographer, and especially as a photojournalist, I believe in it. Okay, you have to be there. It's like an ethnographic research method that you do. You have to be in the field, and you have to be part of that environment. So the other day so what I did was I took a photograph, I put it on the Google Lens, my photograph, I put that photograph on the Google Lens, and I wanted Google to tell me about that photograph. And to my surprise, Google knew somehow or the other what sort of article I would want out of that photograph. And I haven't put it on ChatGPT, I'm just talking about Google. Right? So Google, because Google knows me, and it was my palm top I was working on. So Google just gave me all those experiences which other very famous photographers might had, and so I was like, okay, fine, this is going well, this is going good. Then I put it on ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually blew out my mind. So it was my photograph, but ChatGPT was telling me that why did I take it? What do I want out of it? What are the subjects in the photo telling me, and what are the eye connections, everything. And then I had to literally unlearn it. ChatGPT was telling me this is what you want, and I quickly my mind read it and learned it. And I deliberately had to unlearn it. Okay, this is my photograph, and I had to retain my experience, and then I started writing it by myself. Right? So we are of the generation where we use our mind, and we have to put our minds into a certain sort of state. So I could do that. So what I did, I actually asked all my students to do the same thing. They were so happy. The next day they came and they were literally bouncing on the chair saying, we just had to take the photo, everything was done by the ChatGPT. And they were like, teacher, do you know, ChatGPT just knows us so well. We didn't have to write anything. There was no caption that we had to give. They were very happy. And interestingly, because we teach in a bilingual language, like we teach in English plus Urdu.
Right.
And mostly it's Urdu also. So the ChatGPT was giving them the title in bilingual language and also giving them the titles in Urdu. So they were more than happy. So so coming to the point, it's challenging, yet it is opening up the horizon for all those people who probably can take picture and cannot explain it, you know. So I take it in a good way also. But yes, it's probably going to very soon disconnect us from our brains, you know. We just have to be there, take the photo, and then just put it on ChatGPT and it would tell you, okay, oh, what sort of story you wanted.
Right.
So I think this would happen. And also now you see there's this just one picture of any individual and you can create the full storytellings through it, all from all the softwares. There's so many softwares coming up and they have been, you know, used by people. But and you see, you change the background and you create the foreground and
Even add figure characters in there.
anything.
And recent cases where I just learned, I'm not sure whether it's correct or wrong, but in Germany, I guess they have started a law that allows you to copyright your face.
Yeah,
because
it does.
people were using the celebrities' voices and their faces to create their own content and kind of using those figures to promote them.
Absolutely right.
Learn more about it, go out there, experience it, and then make your decisions, informed decisions, and make them smartly. So with that, I thank you again, and we'll inshallah sit again and discuss more.
I'm really honored, Mr. Naved Haqqi, that you'd called me on this platform. Not only that I wanted to be here, but I had already seen your work that you're doing and providing a global, platform for all the students, especially for the young ones who are really, disturbed and they do not know what career path they have to choose. So when I saw your videos initially, I was really surprised that finally in Pakistan we have these sort of platforms where parents and students as stakeholders can trust on the place, and you're providing this sort of platform to them. So I think it's really going to be helpful for the students and for the parents to connect to you and to decide that what they have to choose, especially in this sort of world where things are ambiguous, vague, and there is a lot of information. So not only what to learn and also what to unlearn. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Salim. Thank you very much.